Hi, fifth graders. You're doing such a great job on your homework. I thought we could take a break and have a little story. So I'm going to tell you the story about the wide-mouthed frog. Now, the reason the wide-mouthed frog was called the wide-mouthed frog is because every time she spoke with her mouth really wide, like that. And so it wasn't hard to tell if somebody was a wide-mouthed frog. You just have to talk to them. And if they say, "Good morning," that means they're a wide-mouthed frog. So one day, Mrs. Wide-mouthed Frog, she had her first set of babies, and she didn't know what to feed them. So she thought she'd just hop around and ask some of the other mothers what they feed their babies. So she hopped around and found Mrs. Rabbit. And she said to Mrs. Rabbit, "Mrs. Rabbit, what do you feed your babies?" And Mrs. Rabbit said, "Well, we feed them hay and vegetables and fruit mostly." And the wide-mouthed frog said, "Oh, that's very nice." And she thought, well, maybe I better ask more than one mother before I decide what to feed my babies. So she hopped along and she found Mrs. Fox. And she said, "Mrs. Fox, what do you feed your babies?" And Mrs. Fox said, "Well, I feed them a lot of grass and fruit, but we also, around here, we eat a lot of crickets." And the wide-mouthed frog said, "Oh, that's very nice." And then she thought to herself, well, that's a lot different than what rabbits eat. I better go ask one more mom. So she hopped along until she found an alligator. And she said, "Mrs. Alligator, what do you feed your babies?" And Mrs. Alligator said, "Well, we feed our babies almost anything we can catch. And around here, we actually feed them a lot of wide-mouthed frogs." And the wide-mouthed frog said, "Well, you don't see very many of those around here, do you?" Get it? Have a great day.